Get those likes up, ladies and gentlemen. Get those likes up, ladies and gentlemen. Timer's ticking. Last chance to hit those likes. Let's get the party started.
Let's jump into the Bitcoin chart.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the stream. Bitcoin is not as looking as good as we really wanted it to look today. We did break that 30K level, which we talked about a little bit yesterday. It was looking like Bitcoin was looking a little droopy, right? Yesterday was a little bit more of a droopy stream. Today we're gonna shortly touch on some of the short-term time frame stuff, but I think what everyone really wants to know right now is where are we kind of looking long-term, right? Where are we looking in the next, next week, right? Next month, next 2 months? That's what we're gonna focus more on today. I don't know why my little thing in the bottom right there says custom under Bitcoin, but you guys can ignore that for now. But yeah, hope you guys had a fantastic Tuesday. Tomorrow's hump day. Right? Hopefully Hump Day can bring us some good news. Hopefully BitBoy sources can start coming in and saving the price. But anyways, what's Bitcoin doing here on the 4-hour time frame? Let's see. So we broke down from our falling channel, falling wedge, whatever you wanted to call it. We got one last little line of support there, and we ended up dumping back to the downside. Now, we haven't come back up and retested it yet, which we could do here, right? We could maybe just oscillate sideways here before hitting this and continuing back down, right? That could certainly be an option. Now, we don't want to come back up and hit that as resistance, right? Obviously, you don't want to flip your previous support into new resistance, right? That's exactly what you don't want to do. But what we did do on the flip side is we did flip, at least temporarily, basically this previous support and has now flipped it into resistance, at least right now, right? We could easily pump right back above this for a couple different reasons. We got the 4 hour that's is getting oversold, right? We still could go a little bit lower here on the 4 hour, so do keep that in mind for everyone in the chat, right? So, you know, we could go a little bit lower here. I have my next two targets. If we do dip below 29,300, I'm really looking at, you know, 28,800 and about 28,200, which are, you know, a couple different wicks from back here and all the way back here. Okay, so that's kind of where we're looking at right now for the next kind of supports, for at least for the short term for Captain BTC. All right, but that's just the Captain BTC. Let's take a look quickly at the. So actually, real quick, we don't have any bullish divergence. So usually on a big dip like this, I would like to see a bullish divergence for a possible reversal. We don't have that on the RSI either. So Bitcoin in the 4 hour definitely looking a little droopy. I wouldn't be surprised if we got one more dip down here. And we're going to go over shortly why another dip might not actually be a bad thing. I know it's what you guys don't want to hear. I know everyone wants the instant gratification of us making gains, but another dip would not necessarily be a bad thing. We're going to go over that in a couple of our long-term charts coming up shortly, okay? On the 1 hour time frame, it's kind of the same type of thing, right? I was looking at this earlier. We were forming possible inverse head and shoulders here shortly before, right? We did get rejected there, and we got a significant, not a significant, but at least on the 1 hour, got a decent rejection there on the 1 hour time frame. So you can kind of throw that away. Right now, we were kind of just oscillating sideways for the most part. If anything, you know, you could say we're trying to bounce here, but you know, you could say that, you know, maybe you're forming some type of a bear flag up the course of the next couple hours, right? Where this might be kind of your support coming up. Obviously, I guys know I like to see 3 touches on both sides to confirm. We only have 2 touches on the downside right now, so we'll see if that ends up playing out. But that could be our next leg to the downside, where we're kind of stalling outright, right? Usually, when you get this big dump, right, big dump, it's not really a big dump, as it was a decent dump, right? I mean, from our really where we started to really dump it, we went down approximately about 5%, right? So it wasn't a huge dump or anything, but definitely was a decent dump. But buyers not getting that pump. Usually on a dip like this, you would want to see a quick rally back to the upside. We're just not really seeing it, right? We're seeing upwards momentum, but we're kind of showing buyer exhaustion, which could push us further down, right? You know, but obviously that's speculation right now. I want to see one more touch on the downside, which it looks like Bitcoin's trying to come back down here and test this once again. So we'll watch this closely. I'm not seeing any bullish divergence on the hourly, and we have now reset the hourly where we could actually get another dump to the downside as well on the hourly. So make sure we are keeping that in mind. And if anything, right, I don't want to, we're starting out with the bearish stuff. Obviously, the short-term time frames, 1 hour, 4 hour, look pretty bearish, right? It's as simple as that. We do have some pretty, it's very, very slight, but it is there. We do have some slight bearish divergence on the 1 hour. We have lower highs and higher highs on the RSI. So I don't know. I mean, it's looking like one more dump is coming. And that's just my opinion. Obviously, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I don't pride. The one thing I want to say is I'm seeing this a lot lately, and not so much on my channel. I want to say on other channels. I don't pride my channel on always being right. Right? My channel is simply looking at the charts, looking at both scenarios, bullish and bearish, and you guys taking whatever you want out of that to the bank. Right? You guys doing your own decisions to the bank. I don't make predictions on this channel, and if I do, I always state that it's just my opinion, and I don't like making predictions. This is just kind of what I'm seeing on the chart, and take it for what you will, okay? So I'll keep that at that. So that's the 4 hour, 1 hour, right? Looking slightly bearish there, in my opinion. Daily doesn't look great either. Obviously, we know we lost about the $30,000 range, okay? And that the daily RSI is getting to that low level, but we still have a little bit more room to run down. And this is where this is kind of getting exciting. And you might say, Jordan, this is not exciting. We're getting absolutely hammered here. How could you say this is exciting? You should go go hang out with Ethereum and stop streaming today. I know you guys want me to do that. But no, in all seriousness, this is where it starts getting exciting, right? And we're going to kind of start with we're going to go over a bunch of long-term charts here. I mean, a bunch of long-term charts here to kind of show what we're kind of going through here. But this is where it starts, right? The daily RSI is getting to that low level. Now, that in itself does not mean anything, right? We've seen it in the past where we had it, we gotten oversold. We only have a short-term rally back up to 41,000, right? But that doesn't mean much on itself, but it's kind of going to coincide with I'm going to go on the weekly chart, right? Let's see. So the volume, so we did get an uptick in volume here on the daily, just to let you guys know. So, but it's still not significant volume. Like it's not like these times where we really started this big dump and we got a huge uptick in volume, right? It's still kind of lackluster, even though we have, I guess, broken the. You really haven't. I'm trying to come up with some sort of synopsis on this, volume. I guess, I mean, you're still in the general volume downtrend, so I don't think you've really broken out on a long-term time scale, unless like for a big capitulation to the downside. But nonetheless, volume did pick up on this dip here, so I mean. That's definitely one thing to look at. MACD, you just flip to the negative on the daily, so it's looking slightly bearish there. Obviously, price action is going down. You're going to see most of the indicators are going to be bearish, okay? But that's not what's important here today. Daily, we are coming up on the bottom of our support, right? And it kind of coincides perfectly. You can see actually today, I don't think we're going to dump today. I think over the course of this week, I think a little bit lower is possible, all right? Keep that in mind. If we do go lower, okay, I have this green box with the bottom kind of being this last little wick here. And that's kind of our last support until that $27,000 range, which you guys know I think is a pretty important range here for BTC, right? The bottom of that box correlates with about 28,600, right? Which we're about $1,000 away from, which also correlates perfectly with the bottom of this falling channel, which we've closed up on. We've wicked below it multiple times, but for our general candle closes has been our general support here down, right? You guys can see pretty clearly it's been pretty much support, right? So we're coming up on that. Will we hold that is the general question. If we don't, that's going to lead us on into our weekly time frame charts. But I did want to state that our daily RSI has a little bit more room to run down, but is almost oversold, along with the 1 hour, along with the 4 hour. So all time frames are looking to meet here at the exact same point. And that's going to kind of bring me here to my weekly chart. And that's going to kind of bring us to the title of the video here, where we're kind of going to look at, I'm just, as much as I love looking at the short-term time frames sometimes, right? As the 1 hour, 4 hour, even the daily sometimes, it's like, is that the stuff that really matters, right? It really doesn't. And I think, I think I myself bring this on to a lot of people, is that even on streams, right? Even on videos you see on YouTube, everyone's so zoomed in, where we always preach, right? Think long term, right? Dollar cost average, hodl, all this. But I think people get the misconception that we're talking about the short-term time frames. We're talking about like the 1 hour through the daily, right? And that's not what we're really talking about. We're really talking about the longer term time frames, the weekly, even the monthly time frames, right? I think we make a mistake of doing this, where we've just talked so much short term, where it brainwashes people into thinking that they're going to make gains so freaking quickly. And guys, this is not a race. It's a freaking marathon. All right. I sat through a 4-year bear market, bored. Like almost as bored as I am right now. Now I wasn't as bored because we were at such like low levels comparatively to now, where it was like exciting to accumulate here, and generally Bitcoin was actually doing some stuff, and other than just going sideways, right? But we just get so brainwashed with watching videos of such short-term time frames. There's not that many people that talk about long-term time frame stuff, and I think that's why I like channels like Ben Cowan. That's why I like channels like George, because they're talking about more of the macro time frame stuff, and that's really what is important. Okay, that's really what's important here. Well, we got all the crabs in here today. What's going on, crabs? Welcome to the stream. We're welcome to every kind of animal, right? We like bulls, we like bears, we like crabs, and we even like trolls, right? We even like trolls, all right? I'm all about the 1 minute chart. There you go, man. All right, the first long-term chart I wanted to talk about today. If Bitcoin starts dumping, I mean, like, if Bitcoin breaks, while I'm kind of rambling about the chart, long-term charts, if Bitcoin breaks 29,500, let me know, right? Just tell me Bitcoin's dumping in the chat. But don't be a troll and just say Bitcoin's dumping, even though I know you guys are going to do it anyways because you guys like to troll me because I troll you. I troll you guys probably more than you troll me, okay? Liger, yes, those two, Steven, those two. Crabtown, there we go. Yep, we're all friends here. We're all friends, all different shapes and sizes. We're all friends. Anyways, the BLX, right? Brave New Boot. I still don't know why they call it that, but it is what it is. Bitcoin long-term chart, right? So let's jump in on the weekly. So this is my MA extension tool, right? This basically shows us how far we're extended on the weekly. You can use this for any type of time frame. But this tells you how far you're extended from a certain moving average, right? So basically, you know, when you're below it, I mean, generally speaking, just to make it a little bit easier for you guys to see here, the green line right here, generally speaking, right there, it says 99 cents, but you guys get the point. Let me make this green here, and let me make it a little bigger here. There we go. So this big fat green line here is when Bitcoin is, when we're below it, that's when we're below the 21-week exponential moving average, as you guys can see on the chart. When we're above it, right, that's when we're above the 21-week exponential moving average, okay? So now I'm going to get rid of that while I explain that. Basically what this tells us is, you know, when we are too far extended, right, we usually end up finishing either a short-term cycle or a bull market top cycle, right? Just to kind of explain here to you, we literally have a perfect trend line going all the way back from 2011. Literally a perfect trend line. You can see here in 2011, topped out perfectly there, 2013, 2014, 2017, and actually twice in this market too, right? So perfect trend line on the tops. When you usually hit this trend line, that usually marks the top of the I guess either the bull market or a local top, right? Like we saw in 2013, we had a local top, but it still hit that trend line perfectly there, okay? So keep that in mind. So on that, we did hit that trend line. You guys might be thinking, all right, Jordan, that probably means that you think we're going into a bear market. Not necessarily. I think it means that we're going into, I personally believe, right? This is just my opinion. Don't take it verbatim, okay? If you guys think it's a true bear market and we're going to 14K, stick to your damn guns. We're all people with our opinions here. In my personal opinion, I think, you know, we're going to be in something like 2013. I know you can't compare markets. I'm not comparing it to 2013. I'm just using it as a reference, okay? 2013, we hit this, okay? And I think we're going to do something similar where we're just going to, I think we're going to go down to at least 27K, in my opinion, right? Even 25K makes a little sense. I think we're going to go down to these levels. We're going to accumulate. I hope it's a V bottom here, but it's either going to be a quick V bottom, in my opinion, or it's going to be an accumulation sideways down on those levels before we continue up. And we're going to go over why I think that's the general level, but just to kind of let you guys know what I think is going to happen here short term personally. But here, we have this orange line, right, which tends to be kind of our swing level. That kind of marks when we break this, that usually tends to be when we have a big dump, really the last big dump into the bear market, okay? So right here, you can see right at that orange line right now. You can see right back here in 2017, we were holding it, we broke it, and that's when we had that massive dump from 6K to 3K. About a 50% dump is when we broke that orange line, broke it, and boom, big dump. And same thing back here, right? Once we broke it in 2014, that kind of marked, you know, a big, another size dump to the downside right there, right? So we're at that level. Will we bounce off that level where we break it, right? And here's where I'm going to say, even if we break it, I don't think it's going to be a big deal, all right? And this is going to correlate with a couple other indicators that we're going to look at here shortly. But you can see where Bitcoin bounces on this indicator, right? At least in the last really 3 dips or 3 bear market bottoms, right, as you would call it. Obviously right here in January 2015, we bounced perfectly off this level at about a 57 on this indicator. We bounced perfectly on it right here in 2018. And we didn't quite get down to it in 2020, but we did bounce generally, and that's in between those two levels there. Now you can see where we currently are. We're not too far away from this bottom here, okay? So this is how we're kind of talk about with the RSI, dude. With the RSI being so close to where Bitcoin usually bounces in the bear market, this is another indicator that I like to look at. And these are both pointing to maybe a little bit more downside, right? And I don't think that's the end of the world, right? You guys know I was super bearish yesterday. So I said, hey, let's start looking at the long term, because even if we do go down, I don't think it's going to be too much lower. Now, here's the scenario where we can go lower, okay? This is obviously a moving average, right? So if we go sideways here, the indicator is going to move up. And you might say, why is the indicator going to move up if we go sideways? Well, you remember, this tells us how far we are away from the moving average. So as the moving average comes down and we go sideways, this is going to make us go up, which gives us more room to fall. But if we get a dump right now, and this is why I'm saying that I wouldn't be opposed to us dumping straight down to 27K to 25K right now. I would actually like us to do that for multiple different reasons, which we're going to go over. If we dump straight down there right now, I do think that would correlate to us bouncing somewhere in this general vicinity here, and bouncing just like we have done the last 3 times. Okay, and that's just one example. So I personally, and you guys might be mad at me for this, you might be mad at me for this, and this is just the first chart we're looking at. I personally want Bitcoin to dump right now. Like, if I could choose Bitcoin to dump right now, or pump right now, I'm taking it dumping right now. And that might sound crazy to you, because you guys know I'm a long-term bull for Bitcoin, or Bitcoin and crypto. I don't panic sell my crypto. I hold it. I don't sell it. I actually want it to go down for multiple different reasons. So I can buy cheaper, right? And so it can reset some of these indicators and bounce exactly where they did previously, okay? If we pump right now, I do think it would be a dead cat bounce like we saw in multiple times in the past, right? You can see on this orange line, until we broke it, we just kept getting dead cat bounces. We got a dead cat bounce right here. That was a 100% move. We got a dead cat bounce right here. That was about I think that one was about 60%. Yeah, about 60% move. But if we just dump right now and don't get a dead cat bounce, I think that would actually be better for the market, okay? That would be better for the market right now if we just dump right freaking now. I'm going to say that and get that out of the way. And now all the bulls are going to come at me. All the bulls. Better than slow bleeding. It also is better than slow bleeding because, like I said, the faster you go down, the faster that RSI is going to drop and this indicator is going to drop, okay? So if we get a dead cat bounce, I don't think that would be good right now, because it would be exactly that, a dead cat bounce. It wouldn't be a sustainable uptrend, okay? Now, secondly, right, this is basically our RSI, and I also indicated how long it took us in previous bear markets to go from our peak, right, to our bottom, okay? From bull market top to bear market bottom. In 2013 to 2014, it took us approximately about 59 weeks, give or take 1 week. So I didn't do it perfectly, but we're going to call it a little bit over a year. Okay, it took us a little bit over a year back then. In 2017, it took us almost perfectly a year. It took us about 51 weeks, 52 weeks. Once again, not perfect, but generally speaking, perfect. Both times take us about a year. So far, if this was to be a sustainable bear market, now, like I said, previous bear markets don't have to be comparable to this current market, right? So keep that in mind here. We're only about 14 weeks in from our top to our current price, right? Now, what is good about that? You guys might be saying, oh, so we're dumping harder than last time. This is crazy. We should all panic sell. If you want to panic sell and you want to be a trader, I have no problem with that. Go ahead, right? A lot of people think that I have something against people who want to, try to top and sell the bottoms. I always just say that's not for me. If you want to do that, go ahead. But I just spit facts, and it's facts that 90% of traders lose money. Now, I'm not going to go into the stats and all that stuff, but that is a fact. Okay, that is a fact. Now, Now, on the weekly time frame, right, we know, right, took us about a year, both of these times, 14 weeks this time. Look at how long it took the RSI to get down to oversold, right? So it took us a year to get down there this time. It took us, like I said, a year to get down there this time. This time, just bear with me. We'll go over in 2022. I think that was more of an outlier, right? That was more of an outlier. And I'm actually going to use that for the bullish scenario coming up shortly. But we're going to start with the bearish scenario first, okay? We want to appease the bears first. So why did it take us so long to get that low in the RSI in these bull markets, or in these bear markets, but it only took us 14 weeks to almost bottom out in this one? Well, here's exactly why, right? In these ones, we had massive dead cat bounces to the upside. Now, it doesn't look massive because these are smaller numbers here, but if we actually take out our measurement tool, we had dead cat bounces. This one was a 160% dead cat bounce. This one was a 94% dead cat bounce. That would be equivalent of us going back to 60K, right? So think about that for a second. We haven't had that dead cat bounce yet, and that's exactly why the RSI has dropped so fast here in this one. And even in 2017, right, just to kind of finish up my point there, we had a 92% dead cat bounce, and we had a 53% dead cat bounce. We had like a 25% one here, but I mean, is that really a dead? I wouldn't really call that a dead cat bounce, right? So that's why we dropped so far. And this is another reason, I'm going to state it again. This is another reason why I would prefer Bitcoin to just dump now, dump to 25K right now. Just do it. Bitcoin. ETH, can you call Bitcoin for me and then just tell Bitcoin to dump to 25,000 for me? Oh, you can't? Oh, thanks, honey. Appreciate it. All right. He's gonna call. He's gonna call for me over there. But that is why I want Bitcoin to drop to 25K right now. And I'm probably offending a lot of the bulls. But if we drop to 25K right now, that would also have the RSI drop right down into this range. Obviously, not really in my opinion. It would be probably generally in that range. Probably not exactly, but right in that range. Now, if we had a dead cat bounce, and this is why I don't want to pump right now, because I don't think if we pump right now, it's going to be sustainable. I think it's going to be more of a bounce up to maybe the 21-week exponential, right? Or bounce up to the 200-day moving average and a rejection. And that's not what we want to see right now, because that's what we did in previous bull markets and bear markets. And that's what didn't end well, right? That's what didn't end well. If we get some type of dead cat bounce from this current area, what that's going to do, if we get rejected, right, and we come back down, what's that going to do? Well, that's going to reset the RSI, right? It's going to reset the RSI and then give us more of a leg to move down if we want to move back down lower. But if we dump right now, that would kind of reset our indicators. We would be oversold on the weekly. We would probably be oversold on the daily. We would be I mean, you guys get the general point that I'm going with here, okay? That's why I want to see us dump right now. Now, don't come at me, bulls. You guys know I'm long-term bullish. But more cheaper coins, resetting all the indicators, give me that all day, okay? Give me that all day. Now, I'm going to flip to the bullish scenario, right? And this is kind of going to correlate with my sort of thinking here, okay? This is going to... What's up, Zach? Hope you're doing good, man. What's up, dude?
I'm running out of toilet paper. All this dumpage, Jordy. I'm ready to break out the lotion.
Oh, my thing's messed up on the top.
Down there for a while, bro.
It's all good.
Cool to see you on George's stream the other day.
Oh, thanks, Zach. I gotta fix that other one. I guess when it's 2 lines, it goes down. Whatever. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. But anyways, if we do like we did in 2013 or in 2020, and this is why I want this to happen, because we saw what happened last year when we dumped too fast, or we dropped too fast. It tends to have a good effect, right? What does us dumping too fast do? It causes usually a V bottom and causes FOMO, which hopefully can lead us into that second run. What did we do in this one? Well, we got a quick dump bounced off our kind of green box where, we usually bounce in bear markets, right? And that led to FOMO, a V bottom, and a push up. And I think the same thing can happen here. We dump to the mid 20,000s. We could get a V bottom bounce from there, hopefully, and that could maybe cause some FOMO to, maybe continue this run, right? Maybe that could cause some FOMO. We need something, right? We either need bullish news or we need to hit a price level where there's a lot of buy orders, can push the price up quick, and hopefully get people to FOMO in. That's what we need. We need one of those two things to happen here for BTC, and that's why I want to see us dump right now, okay? So that's just two of my charts. That's just two of my charts here. But let me know in the chat what you guys think about my philosophy so far. What do you guys think in the chat? I know a lot of people think we're seeing 14K, and I generally would agree that that is possible, but that's only possible, and I want to do a caveat here. That's only possible if we need to have a dead cat bounce first. We need to have some type of upwards pressure, because we're not just going to go in a straight line down to 14K. It's just not going to happen, right? And I'm not going to say it's impossible. That would only happen if we had some type of black swan event that we're not going to talk about, but some type of black swan event. That's the only way that we would just go down in a straight line like that. If we were to drop that low, we would need. And this is why I don't want to pump right now. We would need some type of quick upwards pressure, and then we would need to kind of do something like this, right? We can't just go down in a straight line. So I'm not going to say it's impossible, but right now Bitcoin's looking extremely dumpy, really dumpy, and that's definitely something to note. Okay, definitely something to note. But it keeps dipping. It does. It does keep dipping. But I'll tell you right now, when Bitcoin, I'm not going to say it's going to happen right now. I'm not going to say it's going to do what I think it's going to happen, because Bitcoin always does the opposite of what you think. Let's be honest. No one's always right. I don't have my crystal ball. I know a lot of people think they have a crystal ball. I don't. I'm definitely one of those people that will always admit that I am wrong a lot of the time, but most people are wrong a lot of the time. Most people think they're always right, but they only show when they're right? So let's be honest here. No one has a crystal ball, right? We're doing our best to do what we think is right? So if anyone wants my crystal ball, by the way, if anyone wants it, it's up for grabs. It's going to happen, but we went on a straight line up, so means we straight support through the 20Ks. Well, I mean, if you look at it from that sense, I mean, look at the RSI and the weekly, right? We'll go over that in a second. Let me get rid of my crystal ball here. I don't want to talk with my crystal ball in front of my face. I get what you're saying on the weekly time frame, man. But if you look at this, right? I mean, we did go up in a relative straight line, but the thing is, we didn't really hang out at the top very long, right? You guys can see we went up, kind of reset a little bit, went up, reset, right? Went up, we topped out, and then we kind of just made our way down, right? And I'm going to tell you guys, like, if we hit the top, or if we hit the bottom, I think generally speaking, we're not just going to hang out down here. We certainly could, but I mean, if it's an indication in previous times, we don't just hang out when we get oversold on Bitcoin, right? Now, sometimes we'll go down here and we maybe make another low, but when we drop, I'm telling you, when you drop below that oversold line, Bitcoin usually has, at least shows support in that area. It might not pump again right away. So the V bottom scenario might not be in play, right? We might consolidate in the 20Ks for a little bit, but generally speaking, off history, it's all really have. That's kind of what happened, but it's kind of my thoughts on that, man. Let's see after tomorrow. Yeah, is the wick-off accumulation playing out, or is this history? I was never a huge fan of that. I was just kind of looked at it because that's what everyone else was talking about, right? And it was kind of looking like that for a little bit. So, I mean, I touched on it because it was looking like that. But like I made that one stream about. I literally had one stream where I talked about you could make it into the wick-off accumulation or the wick-off distribution, whatever you really wanted to call it, because you could make it look like either one, right? So it's all biased. If you're bullish, you're going to think it's accumulation. If you're bearish, you're going to think it's distribution, right? It's all whatever you're looking at the charts. What's up, Chris? What's up, George? I had a feeling you were going to be in here today. I don't know if you've been watching my stream, but I'm pretty much telling people that I want right? And this is going to sound weird to you, even though I am a huge long-term Bitcoin bull, right? I don't sell my portfolio. I hold it. I want Bitcoin to dump into the mid 20Ks right now. I want it to get down there right now. And I don't know if you've been watching the stream so far. I'm not going to repeat myself, but there's multiple reasons why I want it to go down there, and I think we'll have a quick recovery if we go down there, right? But appreciate you hanging out, as always. George, if you want to come on my stream sometime, let me know. I'd love to have you over here. I think everyone right now might need your calming voice, okay? Your calming voice of reason here. Seriously, I think who in here would want George to be a calming voice? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you want George. Give us some of that stuff. But anyways, that's really that on the weekly. I mean, we've looked at my two most important weekly charts. I mean, we also have this one too, right? And this is another reason, and this is why I think whack off, stupid wick off, man. Yeah. It's all whatever way you're looking at the charts, dude. But yeah, I mean, this is another reason why I think 27K is going to be where we bottom out, right? I mean, RSI is almost bottomed out on the weekly, right? Like we just looked at, doesn't have that much lower to go. Historically, we bounce off that level, right? Our extension from the 21-week exponential moving average, we're almost bottomed out on that as well. Historically, we don't drop below what I call a 57 on this as well. We're almost bottomed out. Also, on the weekly, we have our 0.618 and 0.65 golden Fibonacci level between. It's about 25,000, about 27,000 as well, right? So that's why I think a move down here would get us, like I talked about in George's stream the other day, would possibly get us that sell pressure that could cause some buy pressure here to the upside. Now, this obviously doesn't account for the DXY. This also obviously doesn't account for the stock market, right? If the stock market can rebound like it did today, like we'll look at shortly, and the dollar can kind of stay suppressed, right? I would like to see it drop, but if it can stay suppressed, that would also help out our case here for Bitcoin. So I think that could kind of cause that V bottom, could cause some FOMO to hopefully push us back to the upside. Obviously, time will tell. Time will tell on that. Why are you putting an eggplant in the chat, GB? That's awesome. But yeah, I mean, this is what I'm looking at, man. I mean, we broke below the 50 moving average. It's not what we wanted to do. I don't think it's the end of the world. Like I always say, us breaking below a critical point and breaking below a moving average is not a confirmation of a bearish signal until we come back up and test it as resistance, right? So just because we broke below it does not mean anything. We have to come up and confirm it as resistance first before you can be like, oh no, we're going to zero. Or, you know, I'll play it for you.
Everybody panic, we're going to zero.
I'm not going to do I'm not going to do the bear voice right now. Oh no, we're going to 14K. We're not, like I said, the only way we go to 14K is if we get some type of relief rally back up to the 21 week, confirm it as resistance, reset the RSI, and then we might have the room, I would call it, to move back down to these levels. But I do not think that's going to happen. It doesn't seem like Bitcoin wants to have a relief rally just yet. Okay, and maybe tomorrow's meeting at this Bitcoin conference or B word conference could change something. I don't know. Would be pretty cool though. Would be pretty cool. IR said, "You clown, openly calling for a dump." It ain't gonna. What is that guy talking about in the chat? Man, all I can do is laugh at some people now. It's actually quite humorous. I'm fully convinced all we're seeing is a self-fulfilling prophecy because of social media. The fundamentals are strong. I completely agree, Ben. Nothing's really changed in the grand scheme of things other than the whole China stuff. I think, like I always say, I think that eventually is going to be a bullish factor anyway. So, how many people we got in here today? About 1,300. All right, YouTube, thank you for not Thank you for not doing me dirty today. Appreciate it. But anyways, let's go on over to my next chart. This one's not really a main chart I like to look at, but generally speaking, I mean, we did drop below our weekly EMA ribbon. We know we already dropped from our daily one, right? And we've confirmed it as resistance a couple times, but now we're below the weekly. So I did say, like, last times we broke below the weekly, it's usually not a good signal for Bitcoin, but like I always say, we always can't compare the past to the future, right? This bull market has been completely different than our previous bull markets. So always keep that in mind. I know a lot of people like to say when you're talking about bullish scenarios, but like, you can't look at the previous bull markets. You can't look at the previous bull markets. And you can say the same thing with the bearish stuff, right? Just because we broke below it in the past and couldn't get back above it does not mean that necessarily that we can't do it next time, right? I'm eating dry noodles every day.
Sorry I am late but had dinner with
That's
the
funny.
kids. I am sure we went sideways during Chris' stream anyway, cool.
Exactly, Ralph. We're always chilling sideways. That's what we do, my man. That's what we do. Anyways, let's go on over to my next chart. I mean, this one's not anything crazy, but like, just like to point out, like previously when we did break below this, we usually came back up and couldn't get back above it, and it led to further downside. Just to look at the previous times, right? I don't want to scare everyone. That's not my job here. George said, "What do you think about people turning on Michael Saylor on Twitter?" George, I've been trying to stay off Twitter, man. I've been trying to stay off Twitter. So I haven't really seen. I didn't really see anything with Michael Saylor. But yeah, I mean, it's happening to everyone, right? It's not just Michael Saylor. It's anyone that believes in Bitcoin is evil now, right? I mean, that's kind of what happens, right? Price goes down, everyone's evil. Price goes up, everyone's awesome, right? So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? It's kind of just the way of human nature, I would guess, right? But yeah, I mean, same thing in 2014, right? We broke below it, confirmed as resistance, and we couldn't really get back above it, right? So just pointing that out. Like I said, previous markets don't have to necessarily correlate with the next market, so keep that in mind too. And then obviously my favorite one. This is kind of my last long-term chart. We've been talking about long-term charts already for 40 minutes now. I've been rambling on, but this is what I like looking at stuff from a long-term view. I hate, actually, I wouldn't say I hate. I'm very neutral about talking about anything lower than the daily. Obviously I do it because, you know, people are interested in seeing what's going on in the shorter term time frame. But like I said earlier, people are so focused on the short term time frame stuff on especially on YouTube and on especially on YouTube, right? People watch short term videos on YouTube, and they think that's what really matters. They think what happens today is really what matters, and that's really not what matters. And that's why I'm taking today's stream to go over more of the long term outlooks and why, even if we dump lower, it's not going to be something that I don't think is going to last very long unless we get a dead cat bounce like we saw in previous bull markets, right? Brave, I don't know why I always want to say that. I'm just always bewildered at that name. Anyways, we're comparing our three previous bull markets to this one. You guys can clearly see where we are, right? I mean, this chart kind of speaks for itself. And this is another one where you can say, you can't compare to previous cycles, right? But this is just like the best visualization and kind of puts us, you know, this is the chart that I like to look at to maybe, or to show people to put them at ease, right? Because in reality, every single time in the middle of a bull market, we've had these dips, right? Even in 2017, and obviously we're getting one now, right? Behind the 2017 one. Everyone knows we were over 2017. We needed a correction. That's what we got. We're now back below 2017. So even if we go a little bit lower, I think that would be good as well. That would give us more room to kind of get a little bit more parabolic going into the end of this year and the beginning of next year, right? That's kind of what I'm looking at here. Something along the lines of this. Now, I have this drawn a little bit lower than I think it's going to go, but generally speaking, something like that. And it doesn't matter how we get there. Like I always say, generally speaking, I don't think it matters how we get there, whether we pump now and we kind of just go up methodically, or we dump and we pump and we dump and we pump. Whatever way we get there, I think we're going to get there. Even if we drop to 14K, whatever, we go back up. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day. We're all just having fun, looking at the charts, and that's what really matters. And that's what we do here, right? That's what we do here. We believe in long-term charts. If you're thinking about something long-term or short-term, you know, most likely you're probably not going to last in this market because this market is extremely volatile. You know, it's extremely volatile. That's what it is. Just to keep it bluntly, right? If you can't handle volatility, you most likely are not going to last in this market. It's as simple as that. Usually you'll end up turning into one of those trolls that's on Twitter for 5 hours a day saying, "I told you so," laughing face, laughing face, laughing face, laughing face, laughing face, right? "Oh, you said Bitcoin was going to 100K this year." Emoji, 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 emoji. Little these people know is that they're wasting their time trying to push the price down. And I said this on Twitter today. I got a little heated on Twitter today. Not really heated, but what I did know is that all these people that are trying to push the price down, whether it be on Twitter, whether it be on YouTube, all these people are trying to push the price down. And what they don't realize is they might say, "Oh, 20K, 20K, 20K." And then if Bitcoin does go to 20K, certainly a possibility, what they'll do is Bitcoin will hit 20K and then they'll go Bitcoin 14K, 14K, 14K. Say Bitcoin goes to 14K. Oh, Bitcoin 5K, 5K, 5K. And then they go down, and then it goes down to 5K, 1K, 1K, 1K. It never stops, man. It never stops. And that's one thing I have to say about people that do this is they will literally just keep fudding down the price, and they'll always be too scared to buy. They'll always be too scared to buy. And that's the thing. It's a constant cycle. You got the fudders that try to push the price down as the price goes down to try to buy back into the lowest price. They're always too scared to buy. The market goes back up again. They FOMO in, right? The price goes back down. I'll start here. The price goes back up. They FOMO in. Bitcoin to 200K. The price starts going back down. Bitcoin's dead. Bitcoin's dead. Bitcoin's dead. Same cycle. Push the price down. Too scared to buy in the bear market. Price goes back up. FOMO in. It's a constant cycle, man. It's a constant cycle. And I had to rant about that because I see it all over the place, and it's insane. It's insane that the people that will sit on social media for 5 hours a day just to be negative, just to FUD, are the people that will never succeed in this market. So take it or leave it, is what it is. I spit facts. All I do is spit facts here, but take it or leave it. All right, 100%. Thank you. All right, rant rating. Rant rating. Rant rating. All right, and I'll state the rant here. I will state the rant here. 1 is a terrible rant. 4 is a great rant. Okay, so that's the rating scale we're going with here. Okay, so rant rating. Rate my rant today. I think that was the best rant I've ever done. Because I generally have a passion about that rant because something about that really bothers me, man. I just don't like I don't know. I just don't like that stuff. Because at the end of the day, if I'm wrong, I'll always be the first person to say that I'm wrong. No one's always right? Never one's always right. Never one's always right. No one's always right. And you know, it's the people that try to act like they're right when they're right at the time, and they try to push that they're right. Oh, I'm right right now. I'm right right now. I'm right right now. And then when they're not right, you don't hear anything from them. And then when they're right,
Everyone
I'm right.
Relax.
It's
we are
going
holding
down.
The line. We are going higher. Sellers rest in peace. Best believe.
You can't make that stuff up, man. You can't make that stuff up. It bothers me that people don't realize their own psychology. Me too, man. I mean, like I always tell people, when it comes to investing, you got to almost flip your psychology, right? You want to buy when people are scared and sell when people are greedy. It's constant facts. Now, when it comes to me with crypto, I don't always follow that general rule, right? If I did, I probably would have sold up at 65K. We were talking about up there. I was talking about up there, right? And even though I was wrong, I didn't think it was going to go to 30K. I was saying up there that all the meme coins pumping right now, this is showing it that a lot of new money's coming into the market. Usually when that happens, we see a dump, and then we saw a dump. Now, if I was smart, yeah, I probably would have sold, whatever. But I don't go that route, right? I don't try to time the tops and bottoms. That's just going to make you go crazy, right? That's still going to make you crazy. No one could time the top and bottoms. Yeah, in hindsight, perfect. It would have been awesome to help sell at 65K. Whatever, right? Whatever. In hindsight, yeah. For all we could have known, Bitcoin could have went to 65K, pulled back to 50K, and then continued, right? We could have just done that. No one could have predicted that we were going to do this, right? And if someone did get it right, oh, they got something right one time, right? And I've seen countless people on Twitter, I'm not going to name names, who have only been in crypto for like 3 or 4 months, trying to act like they know everything that goes around, right? It's, man, it gets my gimbers. All right, let's go. Hold on.
Strap up, we're going to the moon.
We got a 4 rant today, guys. Let's go. 4 rant today. Portland, Maine shirt. Shout out to Portland, Maine here. Shout out to Portland, Maine, the topmost state in the United States. I think. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, man. Thank you, Steve. I will be. I'm actually going to be doing more live streams over there. That was kind of a test one. I didn't do that one live, but I will be doing more live streams over there. But yeah, 45% rant on a 4 rant rating. 26% has a 1. I think that's just people that don't agree, right? As we know nowadays, like button is people that agree. Dislike people are people that disagree, right? It's more of a disagree and agree button more than a like and dislike button, but take it as what you will, right? Alaska. Oh, Alaska is.
I liked your second channel. Made me laugh a lot. I needed that comic relief. Thanks.
I like your second channel. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. That's awesome. See you, Jimmy. Have a good night. Good night, man. Good night, man. That was a good one, dude. I'm having a good day today. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. I like looking at the long-term charts. It definitely, like, can you guys agree with me? When you look at the long-term charts, doesn't that put you at ease a little bit, right? When we're looked at the 4-hour, it makes you like just look at stuff from like a just completely bearish angle, right? And I totally agree with that. If you're looking at the chart like this, you're like, right? But when you look at the long-term charts, at least to me, it puts me at ease, right? It puts me at knowing where this is going long-term, knowing that where we kind of are in this downtrend, and it just makes me feel a lot better. And I think I'm going to be doing this more often, especially in the time we are right now, because just looking at the short-term time frame is just so, how do I word this? It's just not productive. It's really not productive. I think people think it's productive, but it's really not. Unless you're someone that's day trading, which I totally get. I totally understand day trading and all that stuff, but keep that in mind. Can you look at the fractal? Which fractal, Ken? My BTC fractal? I don't think I have that up, but I'll pull that up in a little bit, man, for sure. Man. Rick said Jordan's ridiculous. Yeah, Rick, what are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna do, my man? Do they have O faces? I don't know. George, if you're still in here, what do you think about the O face thumbnails? What do you think about the thumbnails like this? I hope George is still in here. I want to know his thoughts on this. Hold on, let me bring it up for you.
Jordan,
what do you think about
it's ridiculous that there's so many idiots out there that think they know everything. 47% dominant.
Rate my O face thumbnail if you're in here, George. Anyways, yeah, I mean, I agree.
After all this FUD, the pop is going to be so rocket.
I really want to troll you right now, but I'm too nice. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Robert. Hey, I'm fine with trolls, man. I'm fine with trolls. It's just the I'm fine with trolls. Few big wicks I'm seeing. Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin's kind of just chilling right now. We're going to look at the Ethereum charts in a second, guys. I kind of rambled on a little bit too long about the Bitcoin charts today, but that was mainly what I wanted to talk about. I mean, we know right now as you know, as a kind of, I would call it a community. I mean, I don't even call it really a channel. We know what like that right now. The altcoins are kind of following BTC, right? So I know a lot of people have been asking me to talk about altcoins more and things like that. You know, it's just so. I don't know, I guess monotonous, man. Was that MM Crypto? That was me. Weston, that was me, man. A friendly troll, how considerate. Trolls are people too. Yes, third proverb. You're one of my favorite trolls, man. There it is, Gothic with the 5 laughing emojis. Every time, man. Every time. All right, let's let's go over on to Ethereum.
Tears of joy, tears of joy, tears of joy, tears of joy.
Let's go over on to Ethereum. Even though there's not really much to talk about. Honestly, there's not really much to talk about with Ethereum right now. You know, as a zoomed out view, I mean, I'm still just seeing a falling channel, right? I mean, it's pretty much the same thing as Bitcoin's in on the daily. You know, falling channel. Ethereum's kind of mimicking it. It's slightly behind. It's not as far down, but you can see we're bouncing off. We bounced off about 1,700 today. And are trying to wick back up and close back. I would like to close back above 1,800, but at the end of the day, that doesn't really. If we know that doesn't really matter. What Bitcoin does is what Ethereum's going to do. Now, here's my Ethereum fractal. Everyone loves my Ethereum fractal. It's still slightly on point, right? Come on, man, give it to me. It's still slightly on point. You cannot even argue that the Ethereum fractal is on point right now. But you know. Obviously, if we dip a little bit lower, it will invalidate this. Now, I don't think this is legit, guys. I think some people think I'm being serious sometimes. This is literally just a random fractal from this price action right here, where we had like a decent-sized dip back in September of last year. But it's literally doing pretty much the same thing. Now, it's not the exact same, so don't take my word for it. But, you know, if this was to continue to play out, you would kind of move back up from here, right? Right, you would bounce here and move back up. If we dip a little bit more, that's going to take my fractal and just say
nope, nope, nope.
So keep that in mind. Don't take it verbatim here. It's just a fractal, just like with anything with charts. I mean, it is what it is. But maybe that would correlate with tomorrow's B word meeting and could push us back up to the upside, right? Thank you, Bootney. Appreciate it. But, all right. So that's really that. I mean, if you want to zoom in a little bit on the 4 hour, actually, one more thing on the daily. If we do drop below 1,700, I'm seeing probably a move down to the bottom of the channel. Obviously, would probably invalidate my little fractal there. But same thing we talked about with Bitcoin, right? Our daily RSI is getting down there. It still has a little bit more room to run, but, you know, I think a move back down to maybe the $1,550, $1,600 range would probably bottom us out on the daily. We haven't bottomed out on the daily RSI for Ethereum since all the way back here in March of 2020. So keep that in mind, right? Do not forget that fact for Captain ETH, is Ethereum doesn't like to be oversold on the daily. The last 2 times we really did it, right? Really 3 times, was right here. Obviously led to a bull market. Was generally in this area right here. Right, led to a move from $100 to almost $300. Right here in the bottom of the bear market, led from a move to $83 to $365. So Ethereum doesn't like to be oversold in the daily. We haven't been oversold in literally almost a year and a half now. So we're getting down there. And that's another reason why another dip might actually be a good thing here. Okay, don't take it as always dipping be a bad thing. Sometimes you need to dip, get that sort of liquidity to be able to move back up to the upside, right? So sometimes dippage is good, okay, to reset some of these indicators here. But hopefully we don't need a dip, right? And I think just because I'm saying I want to see a dip and I'm hoping for a slight dip does not mean that I necessarily need to see a dip, right? I would be perfectly fine with us just pumping here, but you guys know my theory on me wanting, you know, them to dip a little bit more. It's not because I don't want them to go up. It's just I think that would be healthy for a more sustained uptrend going into the, you know, the end of this year. So ETH on the 4 hour, just real quick. I mean, we're in the kind of in this falling channel. We did break below it, came back up, got a resistance on it, and kind of same thing, right? If we can't get back above that, it's probably see another move down to 1700. For whatever reason, we can bounce here. I think, you know, move back up to the top of this channel. You know, maybe around, depending on how we got there, maybe around like 1950 or so is probably what I'm seeing here for ETH. So yeah, we don't want to confirm our previous support into resistance, obviously, and we know that's bearish, right? I'm not going to do my previous into right? I'm not going to do that, but keep that in mind. Do I have an affiliate link to TradingView? Going to purchase membership and want to give you credit if you have that available. Just for having fun, I do not, man. I do not. I don't really. I probably should put some affiliate links in the description. I used to. I don't think I have any down there anymore, to be honest. I probably should, but it's one of those things that, you know. But yeah, that's really that for ETH. You did have some bullish divergence there. Hasn't really played out too well, but that's just that's that. Let's go look at Cardano real quick. Matt, join the Patreon. What's going on, Matt? I don't know why that's so big. What the heck, man? All right, it's all good. But thanks for joining the Patreon, Matt. Appreciate it, man. JG Bitcoin, do you ever fill the tub with syrup? Only when Ethereum's in there with me. Sometimes when Cardano's in there with me. Don't tell Neil that, though. Neil will be very, very mad if he knows. Very, very mad.
Joy, do you ever fill the tub with pancake syrup? Pancakes, tears of joy, 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 pancakes, tears of joy.
Tears of joy pancakes, bro. Sometimes when yeah, please guys don't tell Neil that, please. Neil will be very mad at me. Let's see if Neil even hears it today. He never hears my jokes about Cardano. But yeah, I mean, Cardano is kind of the same situation. Like, you can look at the Cardano chart and think it's the Ethereum chart. It's literally the same exact thing. Okay. You came back down to approximately about, you wicked actually today about almost to $1, right? You went to about $1.01 today, right? So that cotton candy looks like that. We always used to say that. We used to say that Cardano was, you know, always being bought up like cotton candy at a local fair, not a state fair, only a local fair. And right now it doesn't look like people are buying up the cotton, or it looks like they restocked on cotton candy. So Cardano's pushing down right now. It almost dipped below $1. It hit $1 actually today.
Daily close.
It hit like $1.01, I should say.
It's the daily close.
It's the daily close. It's the daily close. All right, we'll go look at Bitcoin in a second. But we actually closed, just as I say that, we closed back above the level I wanted to. I was actually going to say that right as we did it, but we got to close at above $1.05. Perfect. Which is what we wanted to see. Does that mean we have to necessarily pump here? Not necessarily, but I don't think that's for a red day. I think you closed at a decent spot, right? On the 4 hour, just one more. If you did dip it, just like Ethereum, you're probably looking for a dip back down to the bottom of the channel here if you break this green box of support. 4 hour, let's see. Not really much here on the 4 hour time frame, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, not really much there. Anything here? Ugly. It's not really even a head and shoulders. You were trying to make a little head and shoulders, right? Very, very weak one. but you did have left shoulder, head, and a right shoulder. You actually pumped out of it, came back down to retest, but you actually broke right back into it. So that kind of invalidated that, unfortunately. It's looking fine, I guess. I'm not really seeing anything. If anything, you could probably say this may be slightly bearish, as you know, it's showing buyer exhaustion, right? You just can't really push it to the upside, right? You usually break to the downside. So we'll see, right? 1 hour looks pretty bearish, but I mean, so does Bitcoin. So that's the name of the game right now. The name of the game. Smart contracts 2022. We'll see. We'll see. I'm a big Cardano fan, as you guys know, but you know, we got to see it from Cardano first. We definitely got to see it here. This probably make a little more sense like this. Boom, boom, boom. But yeah, I'm a big Cardano fan, but I mean, we have to see all these upgrades first. I mean, we just haven't really seen them yet, you know? Let's see. Let's go to macro. Actually, let me check the Bitcoin daily close first. Yeah, not a great daily, right? We probably all know this right now. I don't think we need anyone to rub it in, but not a great daily, right? And we went over this. I think. What did we talk about? Like, it probably looks like, and it would make sense here if Bitcoin dropped a little bit lower, right? Back down to, you know, 28,500, bottom of this channel. At least for now, would make some sense. So, not the end of the world. We talked about the whole stream about, you know, the long-term potential of Bitcoin and where we think we're going to bounce, right? All right, macro time frame stuff. This is more kind of longer-term time frame. I mean, this is another reason why I think, you know, a move down for Bitcoin would make some sense. So this is the total market cap. We know we kind of have a falling wedge on the total market cap and the total 2 market cap. Now, the one thing that makes me hesitate here of Bitcoin dropping is this sort of falling wedge. Now, you could draw this from the candle bodies. The one thing I do want to note, though, is, and this is just purely hypothetical, right? If we drew it more like this, I don't know. I'm going to keep it the way I had it for now, but obviously that's purely hypothetical right now. We actually did bounce off the bottom of it, if that's the way it is. But keep that in mind. But the one thing that makes me hesitant on this is if we're under the belief that Bitcoin drops a little bit more, that may not be very good for altcoins. If this was a actual pattern here, right? The apex of this, right? And yes, I called it. I can actually call this an apex. Actually, the apex is the top, isn't it? Well, this is more of the bottom right, but I'm still going to call it an apex. Apex of this is August 2nd, right? So taking about 2 weeks from now. If Bitcoin did drop to the mid 20Ks, that would most likely mean a drop from this, which, you know, probably wouldn't be good for altcoins here. Not going to say that's necessarily going to happen. Usually falling wedges are bullish, but that is one thing to keep in mind here, that we're probably going to see a breakout of this in the next 14 days, which we probably expect a Bitcoin move by then, especially now that we're kind of consolidating under 30K. Is it a falling wedge or descending channel? You could probably do it a descending channel too. I never really thought of it that way. I mean, I'm always open to like suggestions. I mean, that's the thing with technical analysis. Everyone can kind of see things from different ways. You could draw this as maybe a falling channel too, which I think any way you look at it, I mean, even if it's a falling channel, I would still look at that as bullish. But I mean, obviously I would prefer it to be a wedge. I would prefer it to be a wedge here. But yeah, I mean, usually these are bullish, but this does break down, probably wouldn't be great for Bitcoin altcoins. Now, the one thing I will note on this is the daily is getting oversold here. So just like we talked about with Bitcoin and Ethereum, daily is oversold here. We probably bounce here before we dip. And what we want is inherently this to drop a little bit, right? Us maybe drop down into this really apex, bounce off this support level that I have drawn here at about 587 billion, and then hopefully continue up. That's kind of the hope. But that would kind of go against what I'm kind of want to see for Bitcoin. So I'm kind of torn here on what I want to see. Those don't really line up as far as my wants and beliefs here. But just because this does break down doesn't mean that, you know, we can't just dump here and then continue back up, right? Just like we said, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Weekly RSI has a lot of room to run on this, but we'll look at that shortly. Total market cap. This is kind of how I'm looking at this one, right? 3 touches on the bottom, multiple touches on the top. We are dumping down here as well. You do have some more room to run down on this one. And I don't know why I share the MACD is on here. Let me get rid of that for you guys. The MACD, the old MACD. Weekly RSI on this one still has some room to run as well. So depends how you're looking at it. Are we looking at Bitcoin? Are we looking at total market cap? Total 2 market cap. I see a lot of people talking about that. There's total 2 market cap is what we should be looking at, because now there's everything's, you know, you can do stuff with stable coins now. You couldn't do that in 2017. Stuff like that. So I don't know. This has a little bit more room to run down as well. So we'll keep an eye on that. Fear and greed index, we're at 10.
Everybody panic, we're going to 0. Everybody panic, we're going to 0.
I'm just playing with you guys. But yeah, we're going to 10 on the fear and greed index. That is ridiculous, man. That's the lowest I think, hold on. We hit that 14, 18. We haven't hit this since March of last year. We're talking literally the lowest we've been since the big crash last year. 10. If that doesn't show you how bearish the market is, I'm not lying to you guys. There's a reason why I'm staying off Twitter right now. There's a reason why I'm staying off Twitter. The sentiment right now, the trolls, the bearishness, which is fine, right? Everyone can have their own opinion. There's no problem with it. But we're at a 10. That's the lowest we've been since the March crash. I don't think it should be that low. People are overreacting. People are really overreacting right now, in my personal opinion, right? In March of 2020, we dropped to $3,000. Like right now, people still forget that we're sitting at 30K. I think that shows a lot of how many people actually bought above 30K, which is probably most people. It's probably most people, and most of you guys too. Like I totally understand. Not everyone was in this market last year, but man, that's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, we did a little bit in August 2019 as well, but that's insane. Crypto search terms continue to drop, right? We're at a 14. Like I said, I mean, let me search people checking the Bitcoin price. It probably went up today because it dropped, right? 18. Yeah, I mean, we're still dropping on that. So these kind of correlate, right? The fear and greed and the Bitcoin search terms, I guess, kind of correlate here. It's not necessarily, because you might be dipping and people will search Bitcoin. Not sure why all this stuff is popping up here. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, the market cap, Bitcoin dominance here, continuing up, right? So obviously Bitcoin goes down, the Bitcoin dominance is going to go up. We talk about this every day. Okay, if you guys are new, that's just kind of how the market works, right? Bitcoin goes up, altcoins usually outperform Bitcoin, which means the market cap dominance goes down. You ever want to know what the crypto market is doing? You can literally just look at the market cap or Bitcoin dominance. It's going to pretty much tell you what's going on here. Okay. Chris said, I told you, totally underwater. I totally understand, man. I mean, a lot of people got into crypto this year, which I get. I mean, I did the same thing in 2017. You can compare what's maybe going on right now with, you know, maybe a dip in 2017, maybe the downwards action in 2018, right? You can compare it to that same level. So I've been there before. Nothing wrong with it. A lot of Hawaiians checking in. Really? What's up, MT? Keep it up, man. I learned a lot from the stream. I'm not going anywhere, man. Oh, guys, I will be going on vacation for a week, right? And it's a much needed vacation, at least for a week-long vacation. I haven't been on a week-long vacation in I want to say over 2 years now.
Keep it up, man. I learn a lot from the stream.
Thank you, MT. Appreciate it. But yeah, so I will be going on a week-long vacation. I think it's August 24th to September 1st, I think, something like that. But I'll keep you guys updated. Just take a nice and that's the time where Bitcoin will probably do something, right? Because you guys know last time I went on vacation, Bitcoin literally dumped to the downside, you know? Last time I went on vacation was when Bitcoin, it was in May when Bitcoin dumped. Most of us can't afford vacation now. Don't rub it in. Hey, what you guys got to understand is I'm in it with you guys, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm holding too, right? So I was holding at 65K. I'm holding now. So, I mean, technically speaking, half my portfolio is gone too, right? But the way I think about it is you don't think about it as far as what your portfolio value is now, right? That's just not the way you think about it. I think about how many total coins do I have? Because that's what's really going to matter, I think, in the future, right? You have 1 Bitcoin today or 2 Bitcoin today. All right. There's a big difference, or there's going to be a big difference in the future, I think. There's a big difference now between having 1 and 2. But if you go back 5 years ago, the difference between having 1 and 2 was nothing, right? I mean, it was like having the difference between $100 and $200. And then you look at it now, the difference between 1 Bitcoin and 2 Bitcoin is like having $30,000 or $60,000. Huge difference. And I think that gap is going to keep widening. So to me, it's not about so much the US dollar value right now. It's more about how many total coins can I accumulate, because that gap is going to just keep going. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, it was $1 or $2, and then it was $100 or $200, and then it was 10,000 or 20,000, and then it was 30,000 or 60,000, and it's just going to be, maybe one day it'll be 200,000, 400,000, so on and so forth, right? He's going to be streaming gameplay. No. Your viewers don't have Mac jobs at MacDs like you. Exactly, man. I mean, I accumulate about 1 or 2 Cardano a day. It's all I can really afford. We're pumping for now. Not really pumping. I mean, I guess we're pumping a little bit, but we just bounced off this kind of channel. I mean, this is still looking like slightly bearish to me, unless we break this to the upside. It looks pretty similar to what we had going on up here, right? At least on the 1 hour time frame. Before we got another move down. So just keep that in mind. Doesn't mean that has to happen again, but just keep that in mind. All right, where were we? Come on, we were getting to the juicy stuff. Bitcoin shorts. The Bitcoin shorts. The Bitcoin shorts. The Bitcoin shorts. I want to stream down there. I don't know if I'll be able to. We'll see. Maybe I will. But yeah, Bitcoin shorts dropping off last couple of days. A little bit of uptick today. But, nothing really to take from this. We're kind of just in the middle of the general range. I know the longs are outweighing the shorts right now. So keep that for what you will. And it doesn't really match the sentiment, but it's kind of just the way it is right now. DXY. So the DXY is... So we broke above our trend line, but the one thing I want to say is we're still kind of... I guess we're still kind of in this wedge. Very, very slightly, right? Let me actually adjust that to the top, right? Just to fix where the touch points. 1, 2, 3, and we touched it again here. So we're still in the rising wedge, but I don't like breaking that trend line. I definitely don't like breaking that trend line. But as you'll see in the next chart, I mean, we could get a little relief on the DXY. Hopefully this continues down, but we'll see. Now this is good. Now we didn't quite get that bullish engulfing candle. I want to get the bullish engulfing on the S&P. But stocks bounced back nicely today after a giant dip yesterday. We bounced right back. We retraced the entire move in one day. So that's really good. That's really good. Now, we didn't quite get that bullish engulfing, right? We were literally centimeters away from getting it, but still nice retrace. You know, I wanted to get that bullish engulfing, but fortunately we didn't. But yeah, that's good. We'll see if this continues up. Obviously, this is good for BTC if we can bump. What's weird today is the stocks rallied and Bitcoin didn't move, which I don't want to call necessarily. I don't want to call that manipulation necessarily. I'm not going to call it manipulation, but stocks rallied heavy today. Usually you see crypto follow suit in a temporary way, especially on a day that you pump this much, but you didn't. So is that a bearish sign? Could be, right? Let's be honest. That's probably not a very good sign. But that's something we'll have to watch coming up in the next couple of days. If Bitcoin hits 28K tonight, alts will be super cheap. Very true, Chris. Very freaking true, man. Very true. All right. Let's move on to the news. I mean, that's really the macro time frame stuff. Cointelegraph. One thing I did want to note is I don't really have any news, right? I don't really have any news to talk about. I mean, the one thing is the B word, right? We know this is coming up tomorrow, right? It's at, what time is it? 9 a.m. PDT tomorrow, which is good if you guys want to watch it. I think just type in the B word. It should pop up on Google, whatever. But you got Elon, you got Kathy Wood. Don't make any Kathy Wood jokes in the chat, guys. But hopefully Kathy Wood can make Bitcoin pump. Her last name is Wood, as I would say. You got Jack Dorsey. You got these other guys, John Newberry, Adam Back, Lynn Alden, Nick Carter. But yeah, I mean, you got this tomorrow. Hopefully we can get some bullish news from this. I mean, this could be a catalyst for us to hopefully, get some upwards momentum, but could also be a nothing burger, right? So we'll see. Make sure, if you're not checking it in, obviously we'll talk about it on my stream, all that type of fun stuff tomorrow, okay? Now, Cointelegraph, every kind of news article here is pretty bearish. You have institutional demand for Bitcoin evaporates. You have U.S. lawmakers don't want Olympic athletes to use digital yuan. You have China is pumping money out of the U.S. with Bitcoin. You have Bitcoin mining difficulty drops the fourth time in a row. You have Bitcoin erases 2021 gains as Bitcoin price falls. Let's see. You have a couple of different ones here. Yeah, I mean, that's stock to flow model possibly invalidated. Crypto is an untested asset category. I mean, you can see what's clearly going on here. It's the same thing with CoinDesk, right? Institutional demand remains weak. Robinhood ended up being worth less than Coinbase. I mean, it's the sentiment is definitely. We saw it with the Fear Greed Index. Look at this guy's hair, man. What is going on here, bro? Wow, man. I mean, I think this guy has some money too. I mean, that's the hair you rock with, my guy. But anyways, yeah. Meme coins set for third straight monthly loss. I don't have to go through this, but the sentiment is at an all-time low. Not all-time low, but lower than it's been in about a year and a half at least. But keep that in mind. Don't Google the B word. Oh, man. Sunflower said, I'm scared B word is NSNL all over again. Could be. Man. You just jelly, said Omar. I'm good, bro. I'm good with that here. What's going on? Jack Wood Musk. Then you guys are too funny in the chat. All right, let's go to some of these super chats here, and then
Jim
we'll go over
Cramer
some
is
stuff.
supposedly doing a segment tonight on how Tether is a scam and going to bring the whole market down.
Oh, nice. That's exactly what we need, my friend. More FUD. I don't think you can drop the F4. I think you're going to break the fear of greed index. I think it's going to hit a -1 by the end of the week. But all right, let's see what we got here. You positive about the Elon event tomorrow, said Eden. I think it's going to be a nothing burger. Now, I hope I'm wrong. I'm just thinking about it from the scenario is what's going to pump Bitcoin out of this, right? So say if Elon comes out and says, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but I'm just being a realist. You guys know I'm a realist, right? What's going to come out of this? Elon comes out, and the only thing I see, we'll start with the bearish stuff. Elon comes out and says, yeah, we decided we're going to, Bitcoin's looking really good, but, we're decided not to take Bitcoin payments anymore. I think it's still got some work to do. Obviously, that's probably going to dump the market, right? Let's be honest. Any bearish news is going to dump the market. Secondly, if Elon comes out and says, all right, I agree, right? Bitcoin's now, 50% positive for the environment. Tesla's going to start taking Bitcoin again. I think it's a nothing burger. I think maybe we'll pump maybe 1%, 2%, 3% on that. But we're in a downtrend, right? Usually bullish news doesn't pump you in a downtrend unless it's some big news. Let's say Elon comes out and says, Tesla, we've noticed, and Tesla's been buying this dip. We've been buying this dip, whatever. So Tesla buys more Bitcoin. I think it pumps the market a little bit. The one thing I would say is, Elon comes out and says, we've been talking about more institutions. More institutions are really buying Bitcoin right now, and starts hyping up other institutions, which I don't know he can do anyway. I don't know. I think it'll be a nothing burger tomorrow, personally. I'm not seeing a scenario where anything that's said in this that hasn't already been said a million times by Michael Saylor is really going to change what we're currently in. Okay. Does anyone disagree? Does anyone think that the meeting tomorrow is gonna make us pump? I just don't see it. I mean, it could help, right? It could help, but Zach said, cool to see you on the stream the other day. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, it was definitely a good time. I hope I can get George over here on the stream at some point. Is George Spee Crypto George? No, he's not. If Crypto George messages, you'll see the check mark next to his name. Rashad said I will hold 28K.
Full moon on Friday. Moon phase chart is pretty accurate. Wahoo.
Rashad, I thought you were holding 30K, my friend. Now we're holding 28K. It's okay. I maybe we had a miscalculation there. Okay.
Can I get my new link by targets?
Yeah, definitely IR. Maybe we missed the we miscalculated there, Rashad. It's okay, right? We all do it sometimes. I know you and the whales are going to hold us above 28K, and we're going to go from there. Michael said, just thinking of some shows for you to start since we are in a bear market. Start a Red Pill channel and these simps. I kind of did, man. I did start a second channel, my friend. Like I will state, that channel is not for everyone. That channel is not for everyone. John said, where were we? Ralph said, sorry, I'm late, but I had dinner with the kids. I am sure we went sideways during Chris' stream anyway. Yeah. I mean, we literally did nothing. Right? To me, we're forming a kind of another bear flag here, upwards channel after a dip. So we'll see if we dip here. Definitely possible. Everyone relax. We are holding the line. We're going to go higher. Sellers rest in peace. Best believe. Rashad, I'm trusting you, man. I'm trusting you. Slogan said, on point. Thank you for making my friend. Liked your second channel, made me laugh. I needed that comic relief. It's what I do, man. It's what I do. Try to do entertainment, especially in crypto times like this. It's needed, dude. Colleague said, after all this FUD, the pop is going to be so rocket. Yeah, it is. Jordan, it's ridiculous that there are so many ETHs out there that you think that they know everything. 47% dominance, helmet time, I am buying. Yeah, man, I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do, man? Gothic with the smiling faces. Do you ever fill the tub with syrup? I do. With like I said, only with Ethereum. Yeah, I'm talking about you, babe. Yeah, the stream's all about you tonight. No, we actually haven't mentioned Bitcoin one time. And if I did, it was only short-term time frame stuff, like the stuff that we used to do. But I only talk about you long-term, right? It's me and you long-term, baby. Name of the stream today is Ethereum, long-term charts and patterns. It's all you, baby. Jim Cramer is supposedly doing a segment tonight on how Tether is a scam and going to bring the whole market down. FUD, 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 man. FUD, FUD, FUD. Can I get my link targets? Yeah, we can do that IR. And then Sunnyside said, don't worry, full moon on Friday. Moon phase chart is pretty accurate. Woohoo. Let's freaking go, man. Calpra said, hey, Jordan, I'm internalizing your thesis that it is all about the number of coins you hold. The price is irrelevant. The price is irrelevant long term, right? So right now, I mean, obviously the price. But, you know, if you're looking to hold crypto long term, to me, it's all about how many of each coins you hold. Because over time, that's significantly going to increase. You know, we did the example earlier, right? The difference between 1 and 2 Bitcoin, right? In 2011, the difference between 1 and 2 Bitcoin was $1 and $2. Everyone would have laughed. Oh, you own 2 Bitcoin? Whatever. Or let's do another example, right? The difference between 1 and 10 Bitcoin, right? In 2011, you would have $1 and with 1 Bitcoin and $10 with 10 Bitcoin. People would have said, oh, whatever. You got $10. And then you go back, you fast forward to whatever, 2017. Yeah, 1 Bitcoin's 300, 10 Bitcoin's $3,000. All right. Still, I mean, it's not you're not going to be rich off $3,000. A lot of people would take it, but you're not going to be rich off of it. People still would shrug that off. Okay. Now, the difference between 1 Bitcoin is, and 1 and 10 Bitcoin is 30 grand or $300,000. Right, and that the difference between that, as Bitcoin keeps going up, is going to just continue to increase. It's just going to continue to increase as the price goes up. So think about it from that perspective. It's pretty weird, but the price determines how many coins you got. Sounds pretty relevant. I guess, but I mean, if you're accumulating over multiple years, it's not going to matter whether you dollar cost average $100 at 29 grand or 28 grand. It's really not. Well, let's be honest. Most people aren't dollar cost averaging thousands of dollars in, right? They're dollar cost averaging $10, $100, right? Most people aren't throwing stacks out there, right? Like the average everyday people. That's kind of what I'm not talking about the super rich people where that might actually make a huge difference. All right, let's do link for IR. Link for my friend IR. Hope you're doing well, man. Link. Link. No, the difference stays the same as a percentage. Bro, so you're telling me there's the same difference between $1 and $10. And there's you're telling me that there's the same difference between $1 and $10 versus the difference between $30,000 and $300,000. If you can't see that, yeah, I get it's the same percentage. But if you can't understand the fundamental difference between those two price numbers, I don't know what to tell you, bro. I'm just being dead serious. Like, if you can't understand the fundamental difference between that, it is what it is. Let's see. Link. What are we looking at here for Link? Let's see. Link. Link is the slink. 1361 for Link. Damn. Wow. That's a damn shame, huh? Is what it is, as I say. It is what it is. We'll look at some of the next supports we have for Link. Let me actually get a better Link chart. This Link chart kind of sucks. Chain Link. Let's see. Let's see what Chain Link, man. Link the slink. Oh, man. Let's see. Hey, you're at a, I mean, support. You got resistance. You get a couple of resistance points there. Support here. You definitely don't want to break this level. I mean, you just go straight down. I mean, I think the next crucial support on the daily, I mean, you might be looking downwards to like 10 bucks. I mean, yeah, you have a couple peaks and valleys in between, but like from a macro sense, I mean, support, resistance on that level. So I think 10 bucks, 10.75 or so is the most important next support there for Chainlink. But if you look at the RSI, I mean, it doesn't really matter if Bitcoin dumps, Chainlink's just going to keep dumping. I mean, kind of just the way the nature works. But you see the daily RSI for Chainlink. I mean, we are oversold on the daily, right? I'm assuming that's probably the same sentiment on the 4 hour here. Yeah, we're pretty low on the 4 hour. We still have a little bit more room to run. And the hourly, we bounced a little bit, but you still have a little bit of room to run. So you could maybe drop within the next day or two. But, I mean, the daily is oversold right now. Okay, so keep that in mind. Keep that in mind at the moment. And the weekly, yeah, I mean, you're the lowest on the weekly RSI that you've ever been for Chainlink, at least since 2019. I think there's a little more data here that doesn't show, but yeah, I mean, since 2019, lowest we ever run the RSI. Tons of room to run if we want to room down, but yeah, I mean, Chainlink is following the other alts, right? Kind of the way we're looking at it right now. All right, Bitcoin is dropping a little bit right now. Looks like we're going to retest that kind of downward support or upward support we got. Crypto diet, buy and hold, dollar cost average. Crypto diet will make you fat. That's actually a great way to think about a slogan. That's freaking awesome, man. Crypto diet will make you fat. It will. It will. You got to be patient, though. Got to be patient. Not a lot of people can be patient, which I get. I've been there. Tortuga said, I've thrown racks on crypto this year. Racks times 50 will eventually be realized. Facts, man. Absolutely facts. Absolutely facts, bro. I'd rather have 10x more is the basic answer. That's facts, dude. All right, let's go over some gainers, losers, and then we'll get through some of this other stuff here. Gainers, losers, gainers, losers. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Mic drop. I got the best mic drops. Whole crypto market down about 4%. Bitcoin for Ethereum actually held up decent today, right? About 3% for ETH. Pretty funny. A lot of the other altcoins didn't do so well. Looks like between about 7 and 10% on average there. Unis always randomly pumps. CeeLo is up, and there's a couple coins up about 3%, but not any big gainers. Couple big losers though, right? Revin, Telcoin, MDEX, Data, Dash. I mean, pretty I see double-digit losers here. for these guys. Come get some safe moon here. That's the best one. The Doges. I haven't seen the Doges in a while. Where's all my Doges at? Yes, there are small gainers, small caps. Don't even list here. Yeah, small caps. I mean, we don't really look at small cap. I mean, we can, but I usually like to look at the gainers and loses. Wolf, safe, poor people. This one's going off. This one's up 2,000% today. Don't FOMO into Wolf, safe, poor swap, guys. Don't be that guy. Definitely don't be that guy. And if you do become that guy, you know, we can still be friends, but at the end of the day, I mean, we're all friends here. Like we said earlier, bears, bulls, trolls, crabs, okay? But
I'm gonna buy the top and I'm gonna sell the bottom, guys.
dude, this one always is either on the top or this one's so volatile. This one's always on the top or bottom. I always like to look at this just for seeing is there any funny coins. Wait, is that a Karen coin? Oh, bro. Yes, that is awesome. There's a Karen coin, bro. I thought I saw Karen. I was like, wait a second. Karen coin is a smart contract built on the Binance Smart Chain that rewards holders in holding and punishes whales. It punishes whales. But what if the Karen's a whale? Tax on every transaction is made and 4% of which is returned to the liquidity pool. Karen coin. Can't beat it, man. But they punish whales. But like I said, this Karen looks like a little bit of a... I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. That Karen... The fortunate reality is a lot of Karens are probably whales. Man. What are you going to do, bro? What are you going to do? We're all Karens. We're all Karens. Don't do it. No name said don't do it. I had to do it. I had to do it. All right. So that's that. I mean, there's no really hot coins today besides Cameron coin. I like the Doge guy going. It's the only thing Doge is good for. See him? He's up. It's my favorite pick. Let's just go into the Q&A. Let's just do some Q&A. If anyone's got some questions for me. I'm offended. I'm offended. I'm offended. Everyone's offended nowadays. Let's all buy Karen and punish them whales. Let's all punish them whales. How does it even work? How can you just punish the whales? Oh, didn't it say like the whales get taxed? Like that probably like the biggest holders of the coin get taxed or something, you know? Karen coin is just like the safe moon trickle down gimmick. Bro, I don't know how they come up with it. There must be like, I don't know how many total coins there are. I think there's only what, 4,000 or something. I don't know how to check it on here, to be honest, but there was like 4,000, I think. I don't know how many there are now. What are my top 5 coins? My top 5 coins are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Chainlink, and VeChain. In that order. In that order. Now they flip-flop sometimes depending on what's pumping at the time. Right? There was a time where Ethereum was more than Bitcoin a couple months ago. Now it's back to Bitcoin being more than Ethereum. Same thing with Chainlink and Cardano. They kind of flip-flop. So right now Cardano's leading. Chainlink not performing too well, but and Shiba. Did you see MDX Crypto swiping on a stream yesterday? No. I'm not surprised, though. I'm definitely not surprised with the swiping. Swipe, swipe, swipe on the Tinder. Come get some Tinder here. No. B Pro. Brian said, could we be forming a falling wedge in the last few peaks of the hourly today? A falling wedge? I don't see a falling wedge. Unless you're talking about like this. That's like some super short-term time frame stuff. Unless you're talking like something like this. But I'm watching this. But was killing. Was he swiping like crazy? How many matches was he getting over there? I'm not a big fan of dating apps, right? I mean, they have their uses sometimes, but I'm more a fan of how should I say it? Letting them come to you, and if you see someone that you're attracted to, going up to them and saying hi. I mean, it is what it is. You guys don't want to know my thoughts on dating apps. For the general population. That's for the other channel, okay? Maybe I'll do a video on the other channel about my thoughts on dating apps. XRP levels. The natural meetup is best. Exactly. This is why people don't trust crypto. A junk gold or silver coin is still valid. Yeah, I mean, crypto, I've stated it multiple times. I mean, I've stated it. I talked about it on when I was on Georgia's stream. Like, I think meme coins were a big reason why we dropped. Not the main reason, but I think it was a main reason. Just showed that there was a lot of, I don't like to use the word dumb money, but it's hard not to use it there. There's a lot of dumb money coming into the market trying to make a quick buck. And when that got out of hand, the whales were like, wow, look at this. Market's going up way too fast. I'm going to dump the market. Right? That's just kind of how it is. Exactly, Dual Hub. If it happens, it happens. If not, don't chase. Never. I don't want to get into this on this channel. This is not what this channel is about. Don't chase. Okay? Don't chase. Chasing never works. You could say it for really either gender, to be honest. If you got... Oh, man. I could tell a lot of you guys know what's up, though. A lot of you guys know what's up. Appreciate that. You have a chart that shows the amount of limit orders at the buy-in price, Jordan? I don't, Chris. I don't. Definitely. Maybe I come back in 7 years later. All right, what can we... You guys keep asking me questions, get me off track. Man. It's like you guys... I can tell you guys like leading me down a little rabbit hole, and then we keep getting deeper into the rabbit hole, and deeper in the rabbit hole, and then before you know it, we're talking about space, or we're talking about relationships, or we're talking about, I don't know, whatever we talk about here. We always go down some rabbit hole and just keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper. Don't chase the rock. God. Exactly, Steve. Exactly, man. Even if don't FOMO the you lose your money chasing. Oh mate, here we go. Yes, and then eventually you rant about something. Exactly, Creighton. Yeah, I always start ranting about something. All right, let's what can we look at here? The state of the crypto market. Man, it was so much. I mean, to be fair, I mean, obviously when Bitcoin's doing something, it's easier to come up with stuff to talk about. And at least crypto. Man, we checked out on everything I wanted to touch on. Is there anything else I haven't checked out in a while? I'm trying to think. I don't really think so. To be fair, fear and greed. Yeah, no name. The fear and greed is at a 10. We're talking about a 10. The trolls and bearish sentiment all-time high. You can see it all over Twitter. You can see it all over. Actually, not on YouTube. Not on YouTube. Chat's pretty good here. Bearish sentiment's fine, right? We're all about everyone having their own opinions. Heck, I literally said today that I want the price to go down, so I can't really. I'm kind of taking my own medicine there, but you know, it's a 10. I think that's a little bit overreactive. I think people are overreacting a little bit here. Like we're at the levels where fear where Bitcoin was at $3,000, dude, and we're 10x that price. There's no reason why the fear should be this high. No reason. It just like I said, it just goes to show, you know, what the people, because I think a lot of this has to do with like social media, right? Yeah, social media is 15%, market momentum volume, right? So if we just look at what kind of goes into this, I mean, social media, I mean, that's a big negative. I mean, people are going crazy over there. Like people, if you look at, George was talking about, apparently people are going at Michael Saylor tweeting, people are going at him, stuff like that. I've seen multiple, you know, big influencers calling people idiots on Twitter and stuff. Not going to name names. Obviously volatility's pretty low. Volume's pretty low, right? Surveys are paused. So dominance, the rise in Bitcoin dominance is caused by fear. So obviously we're seeing the Bitcoin dominance go up. That's making the fear index go down. Trends, obviously the search queries are down, right? So I guess it kind of makes sense why we're at a 10 if you look at some of what goes into this. But I think it's a little bit overreactive, at least right now, personally. But I mean, you can't argue. A lot of this stuff makes sense for it to be low, right? A whale sold 2 billion. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, a whale 3 days ago bought. We talked about it on the stream yesterday. A whale over the last 3 days bought, I forget how much it was, some ridiculous amount. In the stream that we talked about yesterday. All right, Bitcoin's going down to retest that support again. Will we hold or will we break? That is the question that we got to figure out. Frozen Mars bar. That sounds delicious. That sounds absolutely delicious. Greg Wolf said, hey, did I say something? Got put in timeout. No idea, Greg. I apologize if you didn't. I apologize if you got timed out for no reason. Philip said, I envy Carl Moonboy. He is always right. Acvia's prediction is 100%. No one's 100%. I guess Moonboy might be 100%. I mean, Carl the Moon.
Hey, did I say something wrong? Got put into timeout.
No idea, Greg. To be honest with you, man. If you ever get timed out, guys, I mean, I apologize. You know, you might get timed out by accident, but Matt, enjoy the gym, man. Get the grind on. Get it in, bro. I don't know why I said boy like that. Boy. Get it in, boy. Want to make sure I didn't break a rule or something. I don't know what happened, Greg, to be honest with you, man. Carl the Moon never misses. It's Carl the Moon. He's got all the moves. Rashad said all my buy orders are in. Me too, Rashad. I think I have buy orders set. I mean, I'm going to buy. As long as Bitcoin keeps dipping, I'm going to keep buying, man. I mean, just my strategy. I think I have one at the 0.618 and the 0.65. I'll add more if we go lower, right? But we talked about that enough on stream today. I kind of ranted for a long time on the long-term charts today. That's why I think we're going to negative 400. He always says both ways. That's why he's right. Carl Moon. Yeah, I mean, to be fair to Carl the Moon, it's fine talking about both ways, right? That's what technical analysis is. It's to show you the upside target and the downside target. Now, the one thing I don't agree with what Carl does is he uses that to his advantage. So, and he'll make a prediction, and his next video he'll say, oh, he'll talk about the upside target and the downside target, and if whatever happens, he'll say in his next video exactly like I talked about in my previous video. That's probably the only thing that he probably is a little bit interesting, but that's what technical analysis is. It's tell you to upside target, downside target. It's not really to tell you which way it's going to go. I mean, you can use it to do that, but you react like for this, for instance, like if you're looking at this 1 hour chart, say if this was a rising channel, it's not perfect, right? So we don't know if it actually is, but just pretend it is. You could say your downside target is whatever. You take your pole here and you extrapolate it down just for fun, right? Could say your downside target is 28,000, but if you pump to the upside, you could say your target's up here at 30,000, right? So you can have an upside target and a downside target. If you pump, you come up and retest previous support as resistance. The problem is when it does either one and you say exactly as I predicted, yeah, I mean, no crap, right? That's why I don't make predictions, because you're going to be right sometimes, you're going to be wrong sometimes. I don't make predictions. It's just not, at least I'll make predictions, but I won't say, oh, I was right, I was wrong, but there's only one chart, the 12-year chart. Exactly, the 12-year chart. That's pretty funny. The 12-year chart. How far can we go on this thing? 6 months. Look at the 6-month chart, guys. What's more bullish than the 6-month chart? Look at this thing. So let me actually. This is a good exercise. This is a really good exercise here. Let me clear this out. If you were to look at this chart, and this was a daily chart, all right, would you think that this was super bullish or super bearish? If this was a daily chart, right? Don't ignore the prices on the right. Pretend this is like, just, your regular daily chart, right? Not huge volatility here. Ignore the prices. This is a daily chart. What would you say? If I was looking at this on the daily, this is actually a pretty good exercise. If I was looking at this as a daily, I would probably say, we were overbought here on the daily, right? We probably need to have a pullback. We probably come back down to maybe retest our previous highs. Maybe it'll be a quick wick, right? Yeah, quick wick to our previous highs, and then we bounce back higher. That's what I would look like if I was on the daily chart. Obviously, this is a 6-month chart, but it's kind of an interesting way to look at it from that aspect, right? But that's what I would say. Bullish. Stupid question. How is that a stupid question? I think that's pretty legit. I think that's pretty legit. Rug pull? You could argue that. I mean, if you're not with the bearish goggles on, you would look at this and say that this is extremely bullish. I don't know. You'd probably look at it as, you probably need a little bit of a pullback, and then you continue up. I mean, that's kind of what you did each time. It's kind of the way you look at it. So, interesting little way to look at the chart. Interesting way. Thank you whoever asked that. You asked about the 12-month chart, but super bearish. How could you look at that chart and be bearish? Come on. You should always look at charts with long perspective. Exactly. JGB said clearly a scam. Short-term 4-hour charts and dailies are just noise. Yeah, exactly, Craig. I mean, that's what this whole stream was about in the beginning, man. Absolutely facts. Can't argue it. That just shows that Bitcoin constantly has gone up over a decade. Yeah, pretty much, man. Maybe getting a Doge tattoo in a few months? Will I? Maybe I have some sauces. I have some sauces that maybe I won't have to get a Doge tattoo. Maybe I have some sources in my back pocket. Ken, we're hitting all-time highs this year, right? Yeah? Perfect. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Just needed to confirm my sources. Oh, you let BitBoy know earlier? You let Bit... Okay, cool. Keep letting BitBoy know what the deal is, okay? Thanks, Ken. Appreciate it, man. Have a good day. The sauces. I don't know. Apparently we're going up this week. We're going up this week. I actually want to, I'm generally curious. I know I kind of joke about it sometimes, but I'm generally curious what BitBoy sources are, right? And if they're legit. So we'll find out this week. I actually am generally curious. I know I joke about it all the time. Gotta love Ken. Get a Shiba now, you will definitely earn. Yeah. I actually want to know what the sources are, to be honest. She's an Inu. The real money is made by the bears that are not too chicken to buy when the market is low. Thank you. That's very true. I wouldn't say the real money is made by the bears. I would just say the second part, right? The money is made by the people that are not too chicken to buy when the prices are low. I would leave out the bears part because you can be a bull and buy low too. Okay? It's facts. Bear or bull. If you're not too chicken to buy Bitcoin when it's low, no one knows when the bottom is in. So that's why I always say, buy generally when the price is going down, right? Because no one knows when truly the bottom is. But it's the people that are not too chicken to buy when the prices are low. And that's the kind of the rant I went on earlier is you'll see all these trolls and people on Twitter trying to push the price down so they can buy low, but when the price gets low, they're too chicken to buy. So then it's just constant rinse, recycle, repeat, where they FOMO in, goes back down, they troll, too scared to buy, price goes back up, they FOMO in, FUD the price down, too chicken to buy, FOMO in, rinse and repeat. It's the cycle of the crypto troll, I should say. They always come out to play. They were out to play for 2 years. Yeah, about 2 years they were out to play. And then they were gone for a year, and now they're back. And eventually they're going to be gone again, going to hibernation, and then they'll be back. But the whales know the bottom. Yeah, the whales are the only people who know the bottom. No one knows the bottom, so that's why I always recommend dollar cost averaging. It's not always the most popular opinion. It might not make you the highest amount of money, but no one knows the bottom. So whether 30K is the bottom, whether 20K is the bottom, whether 25K is the bottom, no one freaking knows. So what can you do? Well, maybe just buy every single price, because at any point we could bounce to the upside. Who knows? Proverb said, "Quit talking to me like that." Eternity chain was must buy. Would go to the moon. Instead, it went to Earth core. Yeah, Eternity chain got wrecked. Yeah, Elon to speak at the B word tomorrow should be interesting. Like I said, I think it's going to be a nothing burger as far as price action goes. We might get some bullish news. Maybe Elon says Tesla will take Bitcoin payments again. It might pump the price maybe a couple percentage points, but I don't see it being like something that catapults us back to the upside, right? Especially at the fear and greed is at a 10 right now. A 10. A 10. BitBoy, no. BitBoy, no. Just throw money at the screen. Crypto Face called out BitBoy yesterday, did he? That's cool. Never seen some YouTubers trades. Half don't even trade. They just shill BSTA for view revenue. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get too far into that. Like my favorite saying is everyone shills, right? Everyone shills. People just have a different way of doing it. Right? A lot of people do YouTube. It's their job, right? So, I mean, do I agree necessarily with some of the tactics that other people in the space use? Not necessarily. I think gets a lot of people wrecked. But I mean, at the same time, if it's your job, you're selling people products or you're using affiliate revenue, whatever, it's up to the individual to make their own decisions for their life, right? So, I mean, I spoke about my views on that. I'm not going to go too much into that. Basically, CryptoFace told BitBoy that he was artificially bullish to maintain his popularity on BB's show. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If you're, you gotta maintain what's popular. So on Twitter, what gets you popular right now is being a bear. On YouTube, what makes you popular right now is being a bull. Still, all right. And if you kind of go against the grain, you might get some hate sometimes. But that's definitely true. My favorite saying is I say all the time. All the time. I'll probably say it in like 2 seconds. Literally. I knew about 8 full-time day traders. All don't trade anymore. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the way it is, man. So I always say 90% of traders lose money over the course of time. You might get lucky maybe for a year, 2 years, 3 years, even if you are pretty good at it. But most of the time, most people eventually, over time, lose money. But you might hit on a few trades, which makes you positive for a little bit. But most people don't look at what they've lost over time, what they've gained over time, and it's usually in the negative. Fortunately, people that are new to the space, they'll see people, $8 million long, right? I'm not going to go too much into it, though. Trump is Satoshi. I'm trying not to say, If they knew what they were doing, they wouldn't need to lie. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, man. I don't know what that means. What else? It's about 9:06. About 9:06. I will probably gonna call it a stream, fellas and ladies. I can't forget my ladies in here. Plenty of ladies in here. I'm probably gonna call it a stream. And I'll catch you guys later. All right. Yeah. Besides that, make sure you guys watch the kind of, I guess, meeting interview type thing tomorrow. If you're not watching it, we'll talk about it tomorrow. 7 to 10 Eastern Standard Time. As always, we're here every day. I think that's at 9 o'clock a.m. tomorrow, Pacific time, I think. So 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. But we'll see what happens, right? I don't think much is going to happen with it. Maybe we get some small pump, maybe get some small dip based on what's said. It's probably going to depend on what Elon says. That's kind of what the market reacts to. And unfortunately, probably shouldn't, but is what it is. I'll catch you guys later. Go Suns. Let's go. All right. See you guys. Peace.